Thank you, Chai Ming and Noelle, for all the drops, gems, jewels that were just dropped. I especially loved what Noelle was saying about how you don't have to be at a big corporation to meet people. You can network in lots of different ways that come up throughout your life, you know?
And networking should be taken so much more seriously than sometimes it's mentioned. People drop the word networking all the time, but even as I said, like my career as a manager and creative director, purely from networking and knowing people and gaining that trust. That trust is invaluable.
And not just even like networking events, but that person that you're emailing with at that brand, that person who reached out to you at an agency who's, you know, asking to do business with you in some way, like networking with people that you actually work with, like even through email, maybe sometimes you can reach out and say, hey, you know, I know that we talk in email a lot, but maybe we can, you know, chat sometime, maybe do a quick Zoom or
FaceTime,
you know, any of that, just FaceTime me.
I mean,
that's my cell.
Yeah, that's all our partners, you know, our partners, that's purely a relationship based. Like A Rare Day is a small, privately funded pro bono effort, and the amount of support we've gotten is purely from that network. So don't underestimate small and mighty.
Yeah, and get that cell number. I texted all these ladies, you know, you get in those DMs. I feel like DMs and text is even better than emails because it's so much more fun. And then you're like, you know, seeing a third reader.
Email feels like work. Yeah. You
know? Okay, so jumping right in, super excited to speak to the founders of Boys Lie. Not gonna lie, I'm still waiting for my Boys Lie
very high demand
merch because I don't know if you can hear this, ladies, if you're in the green room, but I would like some more outfits. Vanny only gave me one sweatshirt.
Black market Boys Lie is really hard to come by.
Trying to buy it, and it's like
sold out.
Pre-order, sold out. I'm like, hello, Vanny, don't you work with these people?
I do,
can you get me something?
No, it's very, very small. Yeah, this is what a cult brand does. They
Stephanie and Jen earlier today. Where's our stuff? Where can we buy it? We can't even get this stuff.
I get it.
Anyway,
even if you work together, you can't.
They'll talk to you a little bit about how to create demand, but regardless. Let's start with the moderator, Stephanie. She's also my little sister and client. She's a YouTube and style star, fashion beauty icon, edgy style, unique videos. Her YouTube channel, Soothing Sista, is a destination for essential beauty tips, fashion, and travel adventures, as well as girl-to-girl advice on how to find your voice. And you know, recently she launched what I think is an amazing series on her YouTube channel. It's called Sex Smarts, and it's all around sexual health and wellness. You know, it's crazy in this world how some women have never been spoken to about how to use a tampon, you know, different types of contraception. Speaking to a gynecologist, Stephanie spoke with an amazing Dr. Jackie last week, and I learned quite a few things, specifically about how you shouldn't sleep in thongs, that rubbing motion. She said, not ideal, okay? So learn a lot from Stephanie's Sex Smarts, and also love her because she's my little sister. Kind of annoying sometimes, but only sometimes. We get along most of the time. Stephanie's ultimate goal is to help her followers build confidence and find self-love.
And I'm so happy to invite the ladies of Boys Lie, co-founders Tori Robinson and Leah O'Malley, to A Rare Day. I actually have had the pleasure of working with them individually and as a team as a creative director consultant for Boys Lie over the course of maybe like a year and a half or so now, and we've collaborated on and off. And they also support our Rare Creatives by hiring our hairstylists and makeup artists. So this is that network thing we're talking about. But I want to talk about their brand really quickly because Boys Lie has created something so special. They started Boys Lie after they both experienced painful breakups with their exes, which everybody knows about. Except for through this heartbreak, Boys Lie became their daily mantra and a term of endearment they used to build each other back up again. Boys Lie is not just a clothing brand, it's a community of people learning how to heal. In 2018, Boys Lie was launched as a cosmetic brand. To go along with their wide range of makeup products, they released 2 pieces of brand merch that soon took off as the most popular pieces, now iconic. Realizing the potential of furthering their merch, Tori and Leah decided to completely relaunch as a full-on streetwear brand with a limited edition drop model, which has left their fans running at the chance to grab a sweatsuit, a tee, a tank, a beanie. I'll take a napkin, I'll take anything before they're sold out, because they're sold out immediately.
Socks, anything.
This continues to this day. Fast forward 2 years later, Tori and Leah have built an unparalleled community of loyal customers. With over 100K IG followers, Boys Lie have become a celebrity favorite for Gigi Hadid, Kylie Jenner, Dua Lipa, Madison Beer, Ariana Grande, Halsey, Stella Maxwell, Delilah Bell, among many other notable celebrities and influencers. So we will take it to Stephanie and the girls, and we can't wait to hear what gems they have to drop.
Take it away.
Hi, guys. Hi. How are you guys?
Thank you so much for joining us today at a rare day. We're very excited to speak with you. Obviously, Ashley really needs to get in contact with you about getting some clothes.
We owe you guys so much clothing. Oh my God.
And also thank you, B, for that intro. That was really sweet.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, your story is so cool, how you've really morphed into the brand you are today. So my first question here is, if you could just kind of really get into how Boys Live began and what inspired you both to start it together.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to start?
Sure. So Tori and I, we actually grew up right down the street from each other in Radnor, Pennsylvania. We've known each other for now over 13 years. And although we would run into each other throughout high school and we ran in the same crowd occasionally, we really didn't start becoming best friends until we were in college, because our boyfriends at the time were also best friends. So we'd visit each other, I'd go and visit her, and after that, our friendship kind of took off and we ended up dumping them
and becoming best friends. So from that point on, just seeing each other go through these crazy ups and downs in relationships throughout college, past graduation, we kept saying Boys Lie kind of as something that was an exchange of words and text messages. Even while we got ready, it was kind of like, not like Boys Lie. I mean, in part, obviously, of course they do, especially in our poor relationships, but it was more like something that also like brought us up. It was a value of self-worth. It almost became our mantra to some sense of things. And so we graduate, we're both working completely different jobs. I end up having a job that's makes me move out to San Diego. And I was like, you know what, we should do something with this name. Why not like just trademark it? So we ended up trademarking it.
Yeah.
Do you want to take it?
Yeah. I also, meanwhile, I was living in New York working at Yelp as a sales rep too. And so at the time, I knew nothing about makeup. I knew nothing about cosmetics in general, or packaging and SKUs and whatnot. So I had a lot to learn, but we had to go out to Hong Kong to Cosmoprof to pick out our packaging. And so I ended up telling my manager at Yelp that my friend Tori invited me to Hong Kong for her birthday and he let me go. So we went out together. And after that, I decided to move out here, and it really just kind of started taking off. Our ideas started to come to life, I would like to say. Is
just for a little bit of background too, I work for a private label manufacturer for cosmetics. So I was like, makeup is such an easy thing to do. But the only issue with that is, you know, I'm wearing red nail polish. If I see you wearing red nail polish, I don't really need to ask you what brand it's from. I can just go to the store and buy red nail polish. So not only did we run into so many issues with the makeup, we actually ended up failing completely in makeup, which honestly taught us so much about like wiping away the inessential of the things that we need and succeeding in another subject category, which we took so much more interest in anyways. And just in regards to networking, we had so many friends in the Los Angeles area. And, you know, even with their help, it was a really big struggle initially to get makeup off the ground. And we luckily pushed the clothing
at the time. Well, they're 2 pieces of merch. We called it merch. We had 2 hoodies. They were statement pieces. They were, you know, one had a really long quote on the back that talked about self-worth and self-love and, you know, walking away when you need to. And the other one was more kind of like cheeky, like, what are you going to do without him? And on the back it said, whatever I want. Those were the most popular pieces. Even though we had all this makeup, no one really wanted it. They wanted the clothes. So we started getting reach outs on our Instagram. And after that, it just
kind of flourished. We had to remodel completely to this drop structure, and that's kind of where we succeeded most.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, because we had talked about this previously. This was really your pivot into the fashion industry. So with that pivot, what would you say is just like the major difference you've experienced in both industries?
Oh my gosh. Again, kind of the label thing with the makeup, it's like a color that you're wearing. I mean, the functionality of it is so crucial too, but in general, nobody's really going to ask you, you know, what color nail polish are you wearing? What color lipstick are you wearing? They can look at the color and just be like, oh, I know what color I like. I can go to the store and buy that. So the pivot was the fact that the sweatshirts really had the name on it. And it got recognized really quickly by Mingli Simmons and Delilah Bell. And from there, it kind of had this domino effect where when they started posting it, like people did not want anything to do with the makeup and they wanted everything to do with the clothing. And we had so many SKUs of makeup too that I think our audience was so overwhelmed by what to choose from. Something I really admire and Leah admires as well as Jerry Lorenzo. He started Fear of God with just one hoodie. And you'd think like, oh, if I'm starting a fashion line, I need a whole capsule. I need a collection. I need like 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. But that's not true at all.
And what we also realized too is, again, no one cares what brand nail polish you're wearing, but they're like, where did you get your sweatshirt from?
Yeah, they have to know what clothing.
What brand is that? And then they go straight to Boys Lie.
Yeah.
I mean, both industries are so flooded, but at least you can really create a niche for yourself with a very particular look. And you have people advertising for you on the streets pretty much with clothing. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think I'll, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to move on, but
pivot too is like when you wear something so emotional, you're wearing an emotion. And so it's relatable to so many people out there. And I think everyone has that heartbreak story. It could be with a significant other, a boss.
Yeah, I would say something that's so different now and what you're seeing in fashion as like a huge change in general is people want to wear something that represents them and who they are, and something that, you can't put a label on is emotional value. So like the fact that we couldn't put a price tag on that, but we're still selling items that represent that for you, wearing your heart on your sleeve, that was a really big turning point for our audience.
Do you think that is part of the formula that added to your cult following? Like you do have really loyal followers online. Is it that emotional connection that really makes people so dedicated?
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's that. And also, when Leah and I started, we made everything made to order because we did work another job. So for us, it was kind of like they had to not only order, but they had to wait 2 months before they received product. So in that process, you're emailing back and forth, you're DMing, and you're really creating these conversational pieces with our audience now, where it's like we actually became almost like therapists to some degree, but we became so close with them and we were fully transparent with them too about the way that we started our business. And we were like, look, we're 2 girls. We still have another job that we're working. I know that's not a normal thing people would recommend that you say to your customers in regards to customer service, but there's a sense of appreciation and transparency that I think a lot of businesses lack today in the fashion world.
And it was great too, because as we would say that, they would give us their stories, and they would start talking to us, and we really realized like everyone out there is like going through something. And as long as like, that you're really not alone, and you feel like you have a community of people that are going through something similar, it makes a huge difference.
It makes like a really intimate impact.
Yeah, I feel like I can relate to that on like a level of being on YouTube as well. When people have an emotional connection to you, like you have that forever. And I really haven't heard that before through a brand. I hear it through a lot of YouTubers and like individual people, but that's so cool that people really resonate with your brand like that and your own stories. I think transparency is amazing. I like, that's all I really want from any brand or person out there. So that's so cool. So you were actually saying beforehand that your process was that you were doing it made to order. I'm just curious now at this point, now that clearly you have a higher production. What's the timeline like for your drops that you do?
So actually right now we're looking at, honestly, what is it? Coachella of next year we're designing for. So we're
trying to plan way more far ahead than we were before, but now we're lucky too, because as we've grown, we're also able to hire, a team of people that can help us do the daily runaround and doing the tasks that we had to do individually, just us before. When I say these tasks, we were packing out orders ourselves.
We had to bring boxes of clothing to UPS. We had to bring them to print shops, to embroider places. Like it was so hectic and crazy. Luckily, we have learned to scale to some degree, although a lot of our stuff still sells out. But we do try and scale. For Revolve is one of our main retailers that we're in, and we really admire our partnership with them.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, even those little, just very small tasks will take an entire day. So I'm glad that you actually have
Yeah, they have a
team
dumb
behind you.
Yeah, the smallest thing can really make the biggest impact.
Yeah, that's for sure.
For sure. Okay, I know that we only have around 10 more minutes together. So if I could fit in a couple more questions.
For sure.
What advice would you give new founders or brands trying to break into the fashion industry?
I would say two things are my advice. One is that you're going to take so many losses throughout your day, but when you get that one win, it is so worth it. And to not give up and not be embarrassed. And, you know, you're not going to have a big amount of people, like a crowd that's going to root you on in the beginning. But you'll find one as soon as you become successful, which is super odd. You should always like start knowing that this is from the ground and like you're going to get kicked in the dirt and it's going to be really, really hard, but to keep pushing through that because since consistency is so important.
Yeah. I would say also it's really important to have mentors in your life who can lead you in the right direction and also give you advice when you need it the most, and people that you really, really trust and also look up to. I can't speak for everybody who wants to get into fashion, but I think for us, what's really been like a huge thing that's like contributed to our success is that we have a really strong brand DNA. Our brand story is really strong and it's very relatable to a lot of people out there. So just making sure that your message is out there and
something that represents something else. Like everybody has a boys' lies story. And that means in regards to heartbreak. So whether you lose the job that you've always wanted, whether you and your best friend are fighting and you feel like you're not going to be friends again, like all those things are different types of heartbreak that you go through, a fight with your mom. So that's kind of what we mean by boys' lie. It's like, it's really just a story of how you've changed and adapted and taken something that you've been hurt by and pushed it into something more positive and taken negative energy and moved it forward.
Like, why are you creating what you want to create? And I think that will
just really need like a true identity that you are really dedicated to.
And that comes with YouTube too. I'm sure like you identify very specifically with like your own character. And I think that that's why people like flood YouTubers, because they admire that personality type that's so unique. I think a lot of brands that are coming out, like the world is of abundance. You can create your own brand any day of the week. You just have to follow through with that, push it, and make sure that like you are who you say you are.
Yeah, that's funny that you said that, because that is exactly what popped into my mind. I think a question that we always get is like, just like this question, how do you break into the fashion industry? It's how do you become a YouTuber? And I think that a lot of people, it's a difficult thing to tell people, but it's just like, you need to be genuinely you, and people need to be interested in that. If you try to be somebody else, or you try to, emulating someone else at the beginning is okay. You're like getting used to it. But if you try to completely like change your personality to fit what you think is going to be cool or what people are going to like people will see right through that, and it's not going to work in your favor in the end.
Yeah. And it's going to be distracting from like the point that you're trying to get across as well.
Yeah. But I think what's also really great is as you grow and as you change, the people who already found love with you for who you are and like follow you, they'll grow with you too.
Exactly.
And they will like to see the changes eventually. So
yeah, for sure. Just as long as you like stay true to yourself and you're actually passionate about what you are doing, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like things will kind of
fall
into place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Would you like to just hop into a couple questions here?
Yeah.
Actually, let's see. We have, so in the chat, I think people have been asking some questions. I've just been messaged some of the top questions here. So number one, what are the highs and lows of being best friends and business partners?
Oh my gosh, we get this so much. Leah and I are lucky that we've known each other for so long. We are like sisters, and if people think that we don't argue, we absolutely do.
Our relationship is just so unique. We always get this question too. We always say we would never recommend for anybody to start a business with their best friend. Again, it's not easy, but because we have this unique relationship, like I know what makes her tick. She knows what makes me tick. She could probably see the look on my face when I walk into the office and know I'm in a bad mood. You know what I mean? So,
and it's important to be like immediately forgiving too, and be like, we have a goal that like, we're on the same team here. We know that we're both trying to achieve the same goal at the end of the day. So like the little petty things that like are like irritating throughout the day, like push that aside. We'll be upset, sure, for 5 minutes, but after that, it's like, let's get back to it. Let's get it done.
That's a real sister relationship right there, when you can like be screaming at each other and then 2 seconds later, like,
you're like, all right, wait, just do it.
It's funny.
And then we'll start laughing and then it doesn't even matter anymore. So, but again, like, I think that it also takes time. Like, even in the first year, it was like we went through some really low lows, and like it did test our relationship a little bit, but we always pulled through. You just kind of got to just get over like the little tiny things and
be honest with
honesty and communication is
communication is so important in all relationships that you have.
It's also the most difficult thing to do.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Okay, so number 2, we have, what was the most unexpected thing you realized once you started your own company?
I'll start, honestly, for me, like, I think when we first started, like, we had such high hopes and we totally believed in the brand. We believed in ourselves. We thought it was going to be huge. But now that we have grown, it's weird because it's hard to actually take a step and like smell the roses as it's happening. Like, it's hard for us to realize like
what we've achieved thus far, because in that failing point, that pivotal point of our business, like we thought our business wasn't going to exist in like a 2-month type of timeline. So for us, like, I feel like we're always on our toes from that failure. It taught us so much, but we basically, like, I feel like the best thing is manifestation without doubt, and just knowing and believing in yourself and taking the right actions, of course, to make sure that like what you're doing will proceed forward.
Sorry, I feel like I kind of strayed away from the question a little bit.
No, I mean, like, in general, it's just good to, I mean, when something is so fast, when you're creating so much, you're always thinking like, am I doing enough right now? Is like tomorrow the day that everything, crashes and burns? But it's also important to be present and like recognize, I guess, the success and things that you've done right now. But it's also scary.
It's hard because there's something every day. And I think that it's hard to like take a step back, like, okay, like, let's congratulate ourselves for a second.
I think for me at least, like a huge moment, Gigi Hadid, after her breakup with Tyler Cameron.
Tyler Cameron.
Sorry, I don't watch reality TV that much. Tyler Cameron, like, she walked out in the goodbye set and there was like so many paparazzi shots and I was screaming my head off, being like, holy shit, we got recognized by Gigi Hadid. I mean, we're from Radnor, Pennsylvania. So like, I was like, I don't know how.
Never in a million years. I mean, we believed it. We thought it was going to happen. Like, we didn't really think we weren't sure. You know? So it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
So and it's important to celebrate the wins, whether it be, that's a big win, but even the small ones too. And just recognize like the fruits of your labor pretty much. Yeah. That's awesome though. Like, congratulations. Pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is an interesting one for me. How did you create your brand image and logo? What inspiration did you draw from?
So do you want to talk about the brand image with the storyboards, and then I can talk about the logo?
Yeah. So when we first created our Instagram, no one really knew what we were going to be. We didn't post about makeup. We didn't post about clothes. We kind of created collages that were inspired from like Tumblr and Pinterest, that were based on like emotion and heartbreak, and
they were like storyboards
and moving on. And color schemes too.
So when you see like the first few slides even of our Instagram, like you'll see like weird memes or like little things that were like pieced together of things that we thought fit the brand basically.
So people started following us just because of like the content that we were posting. And so we started building a following slowly slowly but surely. But do you want to talk about the logo? The logo is interesting.
In regards to the logo we came up with is like a horny Cupid. He's an evil little devilish Cupid. has a blindfold because we just felt like, you know, Cupid hits you with the wrong love arrows and love is blind. And sometimes you get so blinded by like some type of person that you realize that a relationship isn't that good for you. And that's why our whole entire like brand is based off this evil cherub, because it's just kind of like love is blind and you think you can see just fine.
Oh, that's so cool. Once it's all explained, like I knew, you know, the blindfold on the cherub. I was like, okay, I get it, but that's such a cool story. Okay, so I guess the final thing I would like to ask you is, what is next for Boys Lie?
Do you want to answer this one?
Okay. So we're starting a home line, which is really exciting. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm overly excited about it. We're releasing pillows that are coming in this April release, and then bases in our June release. And then on top of that, we're also getting into lingerie. So 2 types of collections, completely opposite, but we do want to become more of a lifestyle brand, and that's really important to the 2 of us. So those are directions. Our PR team's ready to kill us though, because we have too many ideas.
Okay, so I would like to put it in order for the Rare team now for the home goods and the lingerie. I very much enjoy both of those things, so please let.
We'll send you over a line sheet.
Yeah, we'll send you guys some pillows too. They're great. They're huge. I love them.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. Your story is very inspirational, and we clearly see how much work that you put into this brand. It's like your baby together. So
we love you guys are the greatest.
Yeah, you guys are. Thank you so much for having us. We're very honored to be a part of this.
Thank you. All right. Later.
Bye.